gentlemen, this is Jabu Fagude. Welcome to Pit to Palace, our podcast. We are talking coffee business today. I've got another gentleman, a very interesting guy to be with, a guy who is going to open up his very own brand, a business, a coffee business by Mr. Ngqiqo, Miya Mahlutshana, better known as Springs. A very hard name to call. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, and you?
Good?
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, man. Nice to have you.
Yeah,
nice to have you. Just tell us, before we begin, just tell us who Springs is, where Springs comes from, where was he born, a little background of who you are.
All right.
Before we get to the business of the day.
All right. Springs is Ngqiqo, Mahlutshana.
Yeah.
Basically. I was born in Ngqiqo, in the Eastern Cape. Grew up in Cape Town.
Yeah.
That's where I did all my schooling.
Okay.
Then moved to Gauteng.
So more like a Cape Town boy, yeah?
Yeah, grew up all my primary school,
12
high school,
years,
university.
15 years in
Yes.
Cape Town.
Even now, my mom is in Cape Town. My
Okay.
grandmother recently migrated to the rural areas from Cape Town.
Okay.
So I would say I'm a son of South Africa because
Yeah.
I still regard my home village as my home as much as I grew up
The
in
Eastern
Cape Town. In Cape Town, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, man. And you came to Joburg?
Arrived in Joburg for a job, basically. When I came to Joburg, it was for work, but it was also for the excitement, also just to re-establish myself. Yes, that's why I came to Joburg. I came to Joburg in 2012.
Did you have a job when you came up?
Yes, I had a job when I came up. I had a job in the liquor industry.
In Cape Town?
I started off in Cape Town, straight from varsity. I got
Okay.
into that job. Then they had a vacancy in Gauteng, which I
And you
showed
took
into,
it.
and I took it. Yes, it was a management role.
So you didn't come to hustle. You came already appointed.
Yes, I mean, I guess it's a unique story. I mean, we always come to hustle, but my story is different.
Yeah.
I came appointed.
So today we're talking about kahawa. It's kahawa bean.
Yeah, kahawa bean. So kahawa means coffee in Swahili.
Okay. It's a Swahili name.
It's a Swahili name, and bean is so the company
Yeah.
is Coffee Bean.
Coffee bean.
Yes, if you are to
Okay.
translate
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Or kahawa.
Yeah.
All right. That's very nice. And why coffee? Well, what's the story behind coffee? Because you come from a different industry.
Yes, I come from a very different industry. So I'll give you a very short background. So in my corporate role, I started being the sponsorship lead for the South Ken Specialty Coffee Association. So we negotiated a sponsorship agreement with them, and I was leading that. And then I got involved with the competition, the barista competitions in South Africa through my involvement as a sponsor. I was looking after a specific brand that sponsored the South Ken Barista Championship.
Okay. All right.
Then at some point I went overseas to South Korea to watch the national, World Barista competition,
All right.
where they were also hosting the World Coffee Festival. And
Wow.
then
Is there such? Okay.
Yeah. Then I got
People really fly from one continent
Yes.
to okay.
If it was
just
not
for coffee.
Yeah, if it was not for COVID, this year would have been in Australia. The World Coffee Festival and the World Barista Champs were going to be in Australia.
Is that how big coffee is?
That's big. People compete to become the top baristas. When I started the business, the first guy I employed was top 6 in the country.
Wow, man. Wow. Wow. Okay. So now, wait. Whew. So obviously you've given us the idea where it came from, but in the black community, coffee. We don't know coffee as a business.
So I was speaking to someone, we know coffee as a business. Actually, our grandparents drink 5 cups of coffee sometimes a day.
From home,
From
yes.
home.
Yes.
So they only taking what they know as being the best. So I'm coming in to show them that there's better coffee. So part of growing the coffee culture is to educate people that coffee is this. I know that as South Africans, we're mostly exposed to freeze-dried coffee.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
freeze-dried coffee
Yeah.
is instant coffee.
Yes.
But it follows the same process. It starts from a coffee bean that is grounded, that is brewed, then that is freeze-dried.
Yes, sir.
Then it becomes instant coffee.
Yeah.
There are very different characters of instant coffee. That's why some people, the more they earn, the more they start changing their
Lifestyle. Preferred flavor of coffees.
Yes, of
Yeah.
coffees. So we have been drinking coffee. There's actually the trends show it. We are a huge coffee consuming country.
Are we?
Yes, but we're drinking coffee in a different format, which is instant coffee.
Okay. So wow. So why don't we? We don't see a lot of shops like Starbucks popping up in South Africa. So to me, that's why I'm saying from that foundation, it tells me that maybe we're not so popular in coffee, or maybe it's because of our weather as well.
We don't have big coffee brands, but we've got a many niche coffee companies.
Okay.
The coffee culture is growing a lot in South Africa. One guy commented that everyone is just becoming the coffee guy right now. But I don't think so. I think that coffee has always been there. It's a niche culture.
Okay.
You find a lot of small coffee shops in corners. We don't have
we don't
have a lot of big coffee brands.
It's not franchised.
It's not franchised,
yes.
Yeah. So there's an opportunity to franchise it, to make it big. But a lot of people are skeptical because they don't understand the market. Again, the market is very complex because it's a niche culture. Or you find niche cultures within the coffee community. For example, when you go to the barista champs, you find guys that are competing for latte art, which is the art that you see when your coffee is being served. You find guys that are competing for cup tasters. You find guys that are just competing to be all-rounded baristas. So there's a whole culture behind it. It's like hip-hop.
What is being a barista, for those who don't know what you're talking about?
So a barista, it's an exciting role actually. A barista is someone who specializes in in pouring coffee. They know the coffee notes, they know how...
So the brewers?
The brewers,
okay.
Yes. The barista culture in South Africa, actually I was very shocked. There are many baristas, the guys that are employed by the likes of your franchised coffee companies.
Okay.
They're baristas. But in South Africa, we don't really value them. We don't really give them. It's like a chef. When you get to other countries, baristas are well respected.
Of course. Of course. So it's a new culture that is yet to take off. Is that what it is?
It's a new culture that is yet to get the spotlight. It has already taken off, but no one is paying attention to it.
Wow, man. How do you introduce it to black people? Because we know that black people, like you said, they're probably one of the most consumers of coffee, but they don't understand the coffee culture.
Yes.
So how do you educate them?
I think we can learn a lot from the whiskey guys who started going into the liquor outlets, educating people on how to consume whiskey.
Whiskey,
I think...
Don't just mix it with anything.
Yes, not just mix it with apple ties or
Coke or whatever.
So I think we can learn a lot from the whiskey industry. On how they've educated everyone on how to take whiskey or consume whiskey or view whiskey.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but Springs, I know you from some time now, and I know that you come from a corporate environment. Now, you are an office type of guy, for me, from my position. And then all of a sudden, you start your own business. Where is what happened? Was there an entrepreneurial bug that got onto you, or what happened? Or you saw an opportunity?
I saw an opportunity, but again, in my corporate roles, there's a term that we miss in South Africa. It's called intrapreneur.
Okay.
So where you're an entrepreneur in someone else's business, inside someone else's business. So I was fortunate enough to always be an entrepreneur in someone else's business, which is called intrapreneurship.
Okay. I like that.
So where I was managing the processes, the P&L, making sure the business is profitable, but not my business. So I woke up one day saying that all these principles that I've picked up from being in corporate, I can actually apply them in my business. So I went into my business understanding fully that there's a P&L that needs to be managed, there are operational costs that need to be managed.
Yes, sir.
So all the learnings that I took from corporate, I just got it and applied them in my business. For example, I'll tell my guys that a 1 kilogram of coffee is supposed to give me 100 cups or 80 cups including wastage. So I'm applying those principles. Understanding that if I've got a liter of milk, I need to get so many cups from that liter of milk. So I took all those principles that we apply in corporate and employ them in my business.
In your business.
Also value people. I've always worked for companies that value people.
Of course.
So when I got into my business, I was like, the first thing that I'll do is value the people that work with me.
The staff.
The staff.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Yes.
So you value your staff more before you can value your customer.
Yes.
So it starts with the staff.
Starts with the staff.
Okay.
Value your product. Don't take shortcuts. We look for the best beans because I believe that I don't have a big brand. So the only thing that will sell me is the quality of the cup I serve.
So now we're talking beans. These are the beans, right?
Yes.
So best beans. What is, to somebody who doesn't understand what are you talking about, what are you talking about? Is it the flavor? Is it the smell? Is it the strength, the strongness of the coffee?
So you get different strengths of coffee and different types of beans. You get a Robusta or an Arabica. So in my business, we mostly work with 100% Arabica beans. And then we mix the blends. For example, the bean that we have in front of us, it has beans from Tanzania, Ethiopia, and Colombia. It's all 100% Arabica. That's just a preference.
Yeah.
There are some people who prefer Robustas. It's like when you talk whiskey, the Irish and the Scotch.
The Scotch, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. But in the coffee culture, you get beans from different regions. And I would say it's a preference.
What's the best? What's the best region for coffee?
For me, Africa is known as the motherland of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. But you still get guys that would say beans from Colombia are the best.
Okay.
So for me, I think it's seasonal. It's like wine.
Okay.
I can have a preference, but I can't really say that beans from this specific region are the best because seasons change and you get different harvests.
Okay. So this is your best brand so far that you're pushing, right?
So I'm pushing the
espresso.
Espresso blend.
Okay.
It's a dark roast. So you get a medium roast, dark roast, like depending on how far you roast the beans.
The beans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why did you choose this brand?
So I chose this brand because it's easy on the palate. It can accommodate someone
who's tasting.
Yeah, the tasting.
Okay.
It can accommodate someone who's a coffee snob, but I can also get someone who is not excited about coffee to enjoy it and to love it.
So it's not strong. It's not too harsh.
It's not too harsh. It's not heavy.
All right.
Yeah.
So I can take a second cup easy.
You can take a second cup easy.
Okay. All right. Wow, man. That's some education. So now this business, coffee business, would you say it's an everyday, all day business, or it's seasonal and it works with times?
People are addicted to coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I picked up. People are addicted to coffee. If you find a good coffee
How
spot,
did you start? Did you start it as a seasonal, or you went in fully fledged as a full day business?
I went in fully fledged as a full day business.
Okay.
I left corporate. Started looking for coffee sites. So initially I went into office parks. Then I found a soccer school.
Okay.
And now I've got a shop at a golf club. So my sites are very, I look for sites where I know that there'll be high consumption. I look for sites that do a minimum, for example, of 100 cups a day. And those would be your...
And you get that?
I got that at universities. So students, for example, would be taking about good number of cups a day. Yes,
So you've got a pop-up where, Vets?
So Vets is one of our sites, Vets University. It's no longer a pop-up because we had a lease agreement.
Oh, so you are inside the campus?
Inside the campus, next to Great Hall, one of the buildings there.
Yeah.
And then we have the Thatchfield golf club. Yes. Now we are about to reopen our Kalami site.
Wow.
So I'm basically creating a chain of coffee stores.
Wow. Yeah. How do you find these pockets?
You look, it's called that's where the business development side of me comes in.
The corporate side of you.
Corporate side of me, where you go in, negotiate for space, negotiate lease agreements or ways of working with the landlord. So my business, it's all about plugging into already existing businesses. I don't want a standalone coffee shop. I want to plug into an office park, for example, that is already there.
That has a catering side.
Yeah, or if there's no catering side, I'm just plugging in to provide the product, which is coffee.
All right.
Yes.
So now, are you only supplying coffee, or you have products that go with the coffee? You like your muffins, your cakes and whatnot.
So I moved away from cakes and muffins, but I do give other entrepreneurs space to bring in their muffins into my business. Yes, I wouldn't because it's not my space. I've always told myself that let me do what I specialize in.
You tried it though.
I tried the muffins. The problem is that with that stuff, for me personally, is that it's a numbers game and it's easy to make losses.
Loss. Okay. All right. I hear you. I don't know what you're talking about, but I hear you. Why is people stealing the muffins or what's going on?
You
too much stock taking.
They've got a very short
the freshness.
The shelf life. So if you want to maintain a brand, a muffin from yesterday suddenly becomes useless the following day. So if you have not sold it, if I've not sold it, I'll suddenly have to throw it away.
So the storage needs to be good.
Yeah. So the shelf life is an issue. Yes.
All right, I hear you. And now it looks like you went straight to the urban market.
Yes.
You didn't consider the township market.
No, we are considering it, but I can't let the cat out right now.
Okay. So there's something cooking.
There's something cooking.
Okay.
We are getting into the township market. And actually, it's going to be exciting.
Okay.
There's a gentleman that is assisting me.
Okay.
He's setting up in the township market a chain of stores. So we're plugging into his business.
Oh, all right. So you're already you're operating as a franchise.
Yes, we're plugging into his business. Secondly,
what's his business?
Going into it's a chain of the mini spaza shops.
Oh,
mini shops,
okay.
Yes.
All right, makes sense.
Yes,
Okay.
but so we're just plugging into his business. But again, there's an opportunity with undertakers because what we picked up is that COVID has given us an opportunity. No one has time anymore to be making coffee for visitors or for funerals. So we just get there, we put our coffee stand, we serve coffee to the mourners. Yeah.
That's good, man. Wow, I like that. I think
we're also looking for opportunities in churches on Sundays if you open up the door for us because we believe that there's an opportunity there.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
There's a great one actually.
Yes,
You're right.
Yeah, because congregants must stop. I won't say stop, but they will have time to engage one another over a cup of coffee.
Of course. Instead of church, straight into their cars and then they go.
Yes. So
and most of them, they never even stay to greet the church members or congregation.
Yeah. For example, if there are new members coming into the church or new visitors, they can have there can be a coffee station at the church where the pastor can give them a cup of coffee. We minister to you. We tell you what we are about. But besides that, also the church members amongst themselves, they can start interacting with one another over a cup of coffee.
I like the way you think, man. Absolutely, there's so much opportunity there. Are you planning on taking this, franchising this business?
Definitely. I mean, I remember when I started, people were already asking me if I could franchise, and I said, allow me to fully develop the model, understand every aspect of the business, then I will open it up for franchising. Because I wouldn't want to give someone something that I don't
yourself are still learning.
So I think that we are now 1 year of operating. We are ready to franchise the business.
Already?
Yes. Because
in 1 year?
1 year. It's already been a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you are big mostly on pop-ups, right?
Yes.
So you do the trailer shops.
The trailer shops.
Yeah.
But again, in the last month with COVID, so COVID has made us re-strategize a lot because it has made us realize what is sustainable versus what is not sustainable. Yes. So now we're moving away from just having the trailer that is popping up, but plugging into businesses that are there daily. You know, where you know that you'll have an everyday clientele.
All right.
Yes.
So now, but don't you feel like maybe plugging into another business, then you have, say there's a cafeteria at a certain business or office park, then you find out that they want to steal your idea and start doing their very own coffee, in-house coffee now. They don't want to have kahawa as a business partner.
Thank God I'm speaking to a Christian. If it's not your if it's not your anointing, you'll never get it right.
Yeah.
So we don't operate with fear.
Yeah, of course.
I always believe that if it's not your calling, you'll mess it up.
Of course.
You know, I always say that I'm very comfortable with being open to people. But my formulas, my concept, if it's your calling.
So no hidden recipes.
No, there's no hidden recipes. I'm a very open person.
Yeah. And it's not like you've done anything new. I mean, you've taken a very old tradition, and coffee is a very old tradition.
Yes.
And you are taking it and giving it to the people, and you're making business out of it. So it's not like there's something to steal that they find it wow.
Yes.
It's not new.
Because there's
yes, it's fresh.
It's fresh. There are certain elements of my business that are very unique to me. For example, how I manage the business.
Yes.
How I interact with my customers. How I interact with my staff.
Yes.
How I interact with my suppliers.
Yeah.
How I choose my coffee bean.
It's not just drinking that cup.
It's about the experience.
Right.
I think we've taken something that is very simple and made it an experience thing.
Wow, man.
Because you could have coffee at home, but you won't have the same experience that you'd get from us.
I was about to ask you that. What makes one to leave their coffee in their kitchen grocery cupboards and come and buy yours?
Because that person is not a barista or an expert in making coffee.
Oh man, you say that so easily because I'm just thinking about it now when you say that. When we make coffee mugs, our normal size coffee mugs, you're just used to pouring 1 teaspoon of coffee.
Yes.
And who said that it's supposed to be? Who came up with that measurement?
Yeah, it's sad. Since I fell in love with coffee, I stopped even drinking instant coffee.
Yeah.
I bought myself a brewing machine at home, a grinder, so I grind my beans in the morning, freshly grounded beans.
Wow.
And it's funny, when my brother was visiting me, he said he's never going back to instant coffee again. He's buying himself a grinder, he's buying himself a brewing machine. I think once you've tasted something beyond that instant coffee that you have at home, you realize that there's more to coffee than what you're drinking.
Wow, man. So now, how much is this cup? Let's talk money.
Yeah, this cup
Let's talk money.
Yeah, it's 30 rands a cup.
$30.
Yeah, $30 a cup.
Wow.
Yeah. $30 a cup. You're paying for the experience.
Wow, man.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
$30. Wow, that's good. That's kind of good. So you are targeting the middle class.
The middle class, but when we're going into the township market, our pricing strategy will be different.
Shift a little bit.
It's like if we're doing an event, or if you're inviting us for your wedding or your funeral or whatever you have at your home, we negotiate. For example, I can get down to 15 Rand cup or 10 Rand cup. So it depends on the market and what it is that we're doing. For special events, we are able to relook at the pricing. But not compromise the quality. Because there you're speaking volumes. Even if there are no volumes, I'm all about building or growing the coffee culture.
So now your price at Wits University and at the Thatch Golf Club, it's the same.
It's 30 rands, yes.
Same price, yeah. Wow. So I hope when you bring it to the township, it will be a different story.
Yeah. May I also state that so we don't just sell hot coffee. So another thing that makes our customers love us is that we've got something called the cappuccino freezer. So a cappuccino freezer, it's frozen coffee. It's like a milkshake. That's the best way to describe it. But it's not made like a milkshake. So you will make the espresso. So you have frozen coffee. So it's good as a cooler in the afternoon. Ice cold coffee. And there's also something called a cold brew. So coffee is not just
it's more like a coffee shake.
Yeah, coffee shake, yes. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Then we also have something called a cold brew, which is, so coffee is not just served hot.
Alright. Wow, that's new to me.
Yeah. So it's not just, you can
I'm
have
learning.
Yeah.
That's new too.
Yeah.
We're so used to iced teas and all that because now somebody went and put iced tea in a bottle. So we're so used to buying it that way
Yes.
instead of making our very own iced tea at home.
Yes. So that would be a ready to drink. So you get different types of coffee as well. You get ready to drink coffee, the instant coffee that you make, and then coffee. So it's like the iced tea concept is the best way to explain it. You get people that you do get canned coffee already in the market. Which is ice cold.
Wow, man, you're teaching us about coffee. So now these bins, you said this bag. What's the size of this bag?
This is 1 kilo.
1 kilo.
Yes.
So this 1 kilo gives you how many cups? 100 cups.
So including wastage, I would say 80, but you can push it to 100.
100.
Yeah.
All right. Wastage will be this spillages
and me drinking
and the foam and you having coffee and constantly having coffee and coffee.
Yeah.
So now tell us about your pop-ups, trailer shops.
Yes.
You using how many now?
So we're using 3 units now.
3. Okay.
3 units, and they're all different formats. So there's the trailer, there's the stands that we just open up when we get to a venue.
Okay.
Yeah, because the more you do it, the more you realize that there are more efficient ways of still achieving the result without the operational costs.
Okay.
So I know when I say operational costs, the one thing that so the business format, right? When I started the business, the format was the trailer.
Yeah.
Then as I started
growing, so you had to buy a new trailer
fit it into the coffee machine,
and go and rebrand it.
And
so that on its own, it's costly. A lot of cost.
Yes. Then as I was moving, I realized that we are starting to get more permanent sites, right? Sites where we are there every day, right? So we just
the demand calls you for them to be there
every day.
Yeah.
So do we really need to pull a trailer to that? No. What do we do? Let's just negotiate for permanent space within that establishment.
Because these trailers, you have to drive them in
there's
and
a cost,
out
there's
every
fuel
day.
and everything. So
Yeah.
it ends up shooting up your operating costs.
Of course, of course.
So I know that people know me for the coffee trailer, but the coffee trailer is a format. It's a pop-up.
Okay.
But we are still a mobile business. We are still a business that plugs into other businesses, but in different formats. For example, in your business, we could come and set up a coffee station.
Yeah.
Not necessarily have a coffee trailer outside, but set up a coffee station
in the house.
In the house, or in your office.
But in terms of that, now obviously that means you need to spend a lot of money on your advertising, the visibility.
It's the visibility
of the brand itself.
The brand itself, and I realized that you need to spend that money.
The wall drippers and the banners and all that.
Yes, like pricing banners.
Of course.
You need to invest in those things, because as much as our format or format into the market is changing, the look and the feel of the brand is still very important to us. We don't compromise on that. So when we plug into that business, we need to also stand out within your business. We must not be swallowed by your establishment.
Yes. So now, wow, man. So to me, the coffee, it's the end of it all. But it looks like you need a lot of marketing strategy, business that needs to be plugged into this business before you even start to sell the cup of coffee.
Yes, you need to market, you need to be loud. Because there's just so much competition now in the market. You know, you're getting the likes of your street food franchises such as KFC coming in with coffee. And I feel sorry for our people that because I wouldn't say, I don't want, as you said, let's not politicize it, but it's a politicized industry and it's on its own, because some of the players in the market are not really
They don't play fair.
Not even playing fair, they're not keen on educating the consumer. So the consumer,
they're just feeding them.
You know, it's all about pushing volumes but not quality. And it would make the consumer miss the real experience that comes with a proper cup of coffee.
Of course.
So with us, and I celebrate every guy who opens up a coffee shop. I'm not very selfish about the concept. If you want to open up a coffee shop, come to me. I'd rather supply you quality beans. I'm not here to compete with anyone. I'd like to say that a candle loses nothing of itself by lighting another candle.
Of course, most definitely.
And secondly, I'd like people to experience good coffee. So if there's anyone who wants to open up a coffee shop
Yeah.
And whether it's under their name, how I can guide that person, because to me it's all about the experience and the culture.
Wow. Do you have any business shares with Espresso Blend?
Espresso, so this bean that I have here, Espresso Blend, it comes from the only certified coffee farm in South Africa.
So this is homemade.
Yeah,
this is home brewed.
Not necessarily. So they've got the farm, but
Okay.
no, this roast is unique though. It has beans from other farms.
Okay.
But the coffee culture is growing so much that when we took on this business and just ready to drink, so we supply beans to to office parks. So if we don't have our stand there, we'll supply you with coffee beans.
Oh.
So there's the distribution side.
Oh, so you are pushing the distribution side of them. So that on its own, it's a business.
It's a business.
Yeah.
So it's like someone who has an on-trade consumption business, but also distributes to other businesses.
Yeah. So now, wow, there's so much to learn about coffee. I never thought coffee so detailed.
Yes, and I must say, the coffee industry in South Africa has been hit hard by COVID, because a lot of people were consuming coffee in their offices. So you'd get to the office, you'd have throughout the day, you spend 8 hours at the office, you probably have 3 or 4 cups. In the office, many people get to experience better coffee at their offices, because many companies are investing in buying coffee machines, purchasing coffee beans,
spending company time and just laughing around and having coffee even when you don't want to have coffee.
So with the lockdown, a lot of coffee distributors were hit hard, because now all of a sudden the volumes that they were driving into these into these big businesses are no longer there. People are working from home.
But then how do you get people to pick up the culture of the office and bring it to their office space, where they'll still be able to consume 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day?
Yes. So it's up to us. So we need to plug in. We need to be close to our communities. That's why you're right. There's a huge opportunity to get coffee into the township, because a lot of people are working from home.
Yes.
That person who was working at the office in Sentin before, and now they're working from home, they'll miss their coffee that they used to have. That they used to have at the office.
Small break and coffee.
Yes. So we need to get close to the community.
Wow. All right. So is this kahawa? Are we gonna see it like we see Starbucks in the US that's popping in each and every corner?
My son said,
is that the plan?
My son said that to me. He said, "Daddy, you are going to be bigger than Starbucks.
You need to be in each and every corner."
Yes, but I don't want to take the Starbucks business model though.
Why is that?
The Starbucks,
because to me, we taught that success leaves clues.
It's a very the model doesn't fit the current economy. That's why you find Starbucks struggling in South Africa. If you read your news, when they came into the country, they had big plans of opening Starbucks in every corner. But not that the market was not ready, the model didn't fit into the country. Starbucks is mostly around shopping centers, expensive shopping centers, where the rent is expensive.
So that's why the coffee price is
high. Their operating costs are very high. I'm not politicizing it again. Sorry, I'm not critiquing.
No, it's okay. Yes, we're learning.
Yes,
we're learning.
But I think we need to. It's like I always warn people that say that I want to get my product into retail. There's a cost with being in retail. You're paying rebates. You need to pay that person to be there. So I've realized that I've negotiated with landlords where we've had hopes of getting into shopping centers, but I realized that no, I'd be working for a landlord. And that's why a lot of big coffee companies that came into the country, like Domino's Pizza, for example, you want expensive retail space without looking at the numbers that you'll be making. So I think my understanding of the South African market will make me not go the Starbucks route, but I can be bigger than Starbucks in my own way.
Unless you come to the people where the people are.
Yes, I don't want to be in Mall of Africa. It's not my business model.
Because then it moves this cup to $100 a cup.
Yes, it does. It doesn't.
And it does not work in your business model.
It doesn't work in my business model. It doesn't really take the cup of coffee to the person on the ground. Let Starbucks keep the middle class and
the higher class.
And the higher class. I want to take coffee to
the commoners.
To my gogo wami. I want to take coffee to the guy who's about to jump onto a taxi to work. He must grab a cup of coffee. I want to take coffee to the student who's still in varsity, sitting there. They aspire to drink Starbucks, but I can give them the Starbucks experience within a certain price range and within their space and community.
Wow, man. Wow, this is big. No, this is big. Yes. This is big. Yeah. I didn't see it the way you put it.
Yes.
I didn't see it that way. I think when we this show is all about people who are movers and shakers.
Yes.
People like you, obviously.
That's
people,
a compliment.
No, most definitely. Yeah. People who are not fearful to take that leap of faith, who can turn from that direction and make a 180 and go the opposite way.
Yes.
And so now when you do something like this and you have so much vision, you see me, I just see a cup of coffee, but you don't see a cup of coffee, do you? Because to you, it's more than that.
Yes, there are people who are addicted to coffee. Mm-hmm. There are people who have 5 cups of coffee a day. Mm-hmm. There are people who we can recruit to love coffee. Mm-hmm. There's the new consumer, there's the established consumer. There's the consumer who just wants the experience. It might not be as frequent as they might not buy it as frequently as we want, but as long as we are able to fulfill that desire or that need. And coffee is a need in other spaces, and it's also a want in other spaces. There are people who say that they can't function without their cup of coffee a day.
Is that true though?
It's true. It's an addiction. We can go into another route.
Yeah, another level.
Another level, but we must also be wary of our consumption of coffee. It can be an addiction if you're not really conscious of how many cups of coffee you take a day. So as much as I preach the love for coffee, we also need to tell people.
Educate the healthiness of coffee.
Yeah. For example, coffee, if you go and do your blood pressure test on a day where you had 2 cups of coffee or 3 cups of coffee, you might find that the test doesn't show the results that you want because it's a stimulant.
Okay.
So we also need to educate people to drink coffee responsibly.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a responsible drink. It's like liquor.
It's like anything. There's always a fine line between abuse and responsible consumption.
Yes. Wow, man. I like that. You are not just selling, but yet at the same time you're making people aware that whatever that you take it at a certain moderately. Yeah. Wow. How do people reach you, man?
So our website is www.kahawabin.
How do you spell Kahawa?
Kawaha, then bin as in coffee bin.
Yes.
za.co.za.
Okay. Yes. So any telephone contact?
079-8923-19.
That's for business.
That's for business. You can invite us to your function if you've got your in-laws coming.
Yeah.
If you want us to train your helper, supply you with a coffee machine, supply you with coffee beans, and train your helper on how to make coffee beans, we can do that. If you see a spot, if you want us to partner, or you see a spot in your community and you believe that it will be good for coffee. Actually, let me just be punchy.
Yes.
High movement sports like taxi ranks would go into those spots. If you want us to schools, if you want us to partner with the funeral
government
offices, undertakers, that do funerals and catering every weekend.
Yeah,
we are open to partnering with those businesses.
Yeah. Sports activities,
soccer in the morning,
party events,
even party events.
Yes. Not everybody goes there to drink.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Some people might have liquor, but they might want a cup of coffee before
to downsize.
Yes.
Their volume.
Volume. So opportunities are endless. When you are showing off, let's say one day you've got a block of apartments that you are showing off.
Yeah.
We can literally set up a coffee stand there. Yes. Whenever you've got people that are coming in to view the property.
Man, coffee. Everybody needs coffee. Every time. Every time. There's never a dull moment for coffee.
Yes, at a wedding, if you want us to set up a coffee station at a wedding, we'll do that. because not everyone is at a wedding to drink alcohol.
Of course.
If you have a funeral, especially right now with limited catering resources, we can go and serve the 50 cups of coffee that are required for the funeral.
So if somebody comes up with a plan and saying, me, I want to have pop-up shops in schools, can they come to you and saying, can we partner? I'm going to use this idea probably in the township schools.
Perfect, we'll do that.
And let's talk about the branding of movable containers or whatever the case might be.
Perfect, we'll do that gladly. We're negotiating with another company that owns a chain of schools. But unfortunately, with the situation we found ourselves in this year, we had to halt those discussions. But there is an opportunity in schools when the parent is dropping off the kids in the morning, they can grab a cup of coffee.
So now you need to kick that blanket, right?
Yes.
So what time are you up?
On a Saturday,
when you working on coffee?
Yeah. So I've got, fortunately during the week, I've got people that work for me, but I still need to go and open the store.
Yes.
So I would be at the shop at 5:30. Yeah, 5:30 in the morning. 5:30 in the morning.
That's not for everybody.
That's not for everyone. No, I wrote to I'm
scared me.
Yes,
what time?
5:30 in the morning. It even gets worse if you're doing cycling routes, for example, where you need to be there by 4 in the morning setting up. If you're doing during a normal year where there are road races that start at these soccer fields, you need to have set up already by 4 in the morning. So the coffee business is not for someone who likes their sleep.
But it's not an all day.
It's not an all day. It depends on how much you want.
So you can go back to your blanket.
You can hit your volumes in the morning. For example, if you're doing a race, you can hit 200 cups in the morning, then be at home by 11. But it depends on how ambitious you are.
Yeah.
You might find an extra 50 cups in the afternoon or an extra 100 cups in the afternoon.
But when you do pop-ups, what struggles do you have? Do you have water struggles? Electricity struggles?
So I prefer going with my own water because I believe that it's like brewers. The type of water that you use influences their final product.
Okay.
So I'm very sensitive towards water, the water that we use. I'll go to an area with my own water.
Wow.
I'll go with my own water drums because I believe that it influences the character of my coffee.
Wow.
If you're not prepared, you can get to a place and you pull borehole water, realize that the coffee is bitter because the character of the water
is salty,
sweet. Yes. It's even my milk. I don't just buy any milk. There are certain things that influences the experience.
Wow.
So the milk that I use, it's very important to me. I won't go to the nearest parlor shop
and just buy any other milk.
Any other milk because, for example, I don't take my coffee with sugar because I believe that milk has enough nutrients and sugar to sweeten a cup of coffee. Especially the type of milk that I use, not that I use sweetened milk. So baristas will tell you that they've got preferred milk brands that give a certain texture to the coffee, a certain finish to the foam and everything. So there are so many elements that the water that you use is very important. But fortunately, most coffee machines, my coffee machines have water softeners, so they've got another water filter inside.
Oh, it gets filtered.
It gets filtered, and it also burns the water to a certain level where it kills anything
that's nasty in the water.
But again, I'm very sensitive to the type of water I use, so I will go to an area with my own water.
Wow.
Because it will influence the final product. I also go and do assessments on the capacity of the power before I set up at a pop-up. Sometimes we'll have to carry two machines, one that is very heavy on electricity and one that is very light on electricity. Because if you're not prepared, for example, if you're not prepared, you will find yourself with electricity that is just tripping because the machine is it's an industrial machine, but you get different capacities of machine that consume different levels of electricity. So you need to do your background check before popping up anywhere. you might find yourself very far away from home in Swaziland. For example, we're supposed to pop up at the bushfire this year.
Wow.
We're supposed to do the bushfire.
Wow.
And the first thing that you do when you're applying, you tell them exactly, you give them specs of the electricity that you would require.
Okay.
You make sure that they're able to fulfill those requirements before you pop up. And if you are popping up at a deco park or a market, you need to make sure that, for example, some machines need 3-phase electricity. So before you pop up, you need to make sure that
double check on the power, how strong it is.
Yeah, and with Eskom treating us the way, so right now we're also converting our power source. We're going inverters with gas.
Okay.
Gas inverters. In that way, you are still able to serve a cup of coffee without relying on the grid.
Okay. Wow, man. So now, if you're gonna be doing, now that you've mentioned gas, obviously, then it eases up on you when you go and do your bushveld events.
Yes. So
where there is no power.
Yes. Or if you're doing a campsite,
and all that stuff.
Yeah. You need to go with a trailer that has a gas inverter. Or some coffee machines have gas inverters already, so you can use gas in certain coffee machines, or you can convert your coffee machine to be able to function on
because
gas.
Somebody might just say, but this cup of coffee, it's 30 rand, it's expensive, I can get a cup of coffee for free at home, but they're not looking at what comes, because the coffee is the end product of it all.
Yeah. The
now
barista,
you're talking big things. I mean, electricity converters, gas converters,
yes,
those movables and all that. I mean, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of money that you need to invest into these products before you brew your first cup.
Yes, and also baristas are very. I think baristas are very pompous people also as well. They're like managers. They demand a certain rate.
Because they made you special.
They're special, and also their skill is special. Sorry to the baristas to say that you're pompous, but I value your skill. And I understand that some baristas believe that they should earn a certain rate.
Of course.
So it's not just about the cup of coffee that you could have made at home. That barista is probably, for example, there's one barista that is highly rated in South Africa, Winston. If I have Winston at my shop, I'm gonna pay an arm and a leg for Winston to serve that cup of coffee. He's the number one rated barista in South Africa. Yeah. He's been to the World Barista Champs. So he comes in
at a
price. It's like a chef. It's like if you're booking a chef for your house or for a function. That chef comes at a certain price, and the more known or the more experienced or the more pompous the chef is, the higher the rate.
The more they've marketed themselves, the higher the rate. Yes, sir. How's family? How's kids?
My kids are great. My family.
You got 2 boys, yeah?
2 boys. No. 2 boys. Yes.
2 boys.
Yes.
Yeah. The last time I remember.
2 boys. No, not yet. Not yet.
Your eldest, how old is he?
He's 11 this year.
And they are
6, 7 years.
What's the names?
Luniko and Lebone.
Luniko and Lebone.
Yes.
Lebone is Sotho, is it?
Lebone is Tswana. Yes.
It's Tswana.
Yes.
Oh, is that from the mother's side?
Mother's side, yes.
Wow, man. And they're good and healthy, they're supportive of daddy's
very
business.
Supportive. I mean, I'm sure you saw the images. That's why you know. You tend to know my boys more
No, I always ask people about their family.
Yes.
Because you want to take interest in somebody else's family.
Yes. No, it's very important. I think sometimes our kids motivate us more than we motivate ourselves. Mm-hmm. Or, for example, as I said earlier on, Bobo was saying to me, "Hey, you're gonna be bigger than Starbucks."
Is that the rugby player?
Yeah, the rugby player.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
Wow, man. And you come from a liquor industry. You've worked for a few companies in the liquor space, from beer to spirits and all of that stuff. And that's what intrigues me. As much as you said, yes, you went to this Barista World Festival, whatever, that's where the concept comes from, the coffee concept. But you've been to many other liquor events or festivals, or whatever that you want to call it. Why particularly this? What did you see in the coffee that made you to take that leap of faith and want to jump into the coffee business? Instead of saying, I want to go and start a whiskey brand. that I'm gonna get from Scotland or wherever I can get it and come and rebrand it and sell it and put it under my name, because that's will be a common thought.
And don't get me wrong, so I'm a believer.
Yes.
I wanted a God-centered business. I believe that in a God-centered business, it's not just about the product, but it's about how I interact with everyone around me, my suppliers, my staff members, my customers. I wanted a business that has trust as being one of the values.
Yes, sir.
Empowering, lighting another candle. I always say that.
Yes.
And when I joke with my boys at Ngqiqo, I would say, I want everyone to be able to buy whiskey.
I'm actually gonna use that the candle that's lighting. It's such a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You lose nothing.
You
by
lose
life.
nothing.
Yes. So I wanted a.
When I steal it. Allow me.
No, it's not mine. It's not my original one.
Yeah.
And when you want to downplay that line, I would say, when I'm with my boys, I would say, I want us to all be able to buy whiskey.
Yeah.
It's not about me. I must not be the one that shines. We must all empower each other so that we can all add value here.
Value on each other. Yes.
Not that whiskey is adding value on anyone, but
have the power to buy. It's all
have
about
the power to buy.
Yeah.
The great thing about this business is that I'm able to take a young man from anywhere, whether it's a township, and train them to be a barista. If you've got the attitude, and I believe that you've got the attitude, the right attitude to serve customers, I can give you the skill. This is one business that can create employment overnight, because if I've got 10 sites, for example, suddenly those 10 sites need 2 people per site to work shifts.
Yes, sir.
You've already employed 20 youth overnight. You don't need that guy to be good at maths, to be good at science. We must also admit that there are certain skills that we must impart on our youth.
Yes.
That do not require them to be
a degree
or to be A students.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do this because this is an art. You can teach them I think you can teach someone to love.
Yeah.
So if you can teach someone to love, you can teach someone to love what they are doing. You can teach someone to love coffee. You can teach someone to serve with a smile. This is one business where you can add value to someone's life and also teach them to add value to someone else's life.
So this is not your first business?
This is not my first business, yes.
I know.
Yeah.
So you've been in the business, like you said, that you are entrepreneur within somebody else's business, right? So you've been trying other things. We can mention a few things that you've tried, and some of them didn't work according to your plans.
Yeah.
But what do you see in this business that you think, this is it, I've hit the goal? This is what I've been looking for.
Right. And this is an admission.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We all start businesses and we quickly get bored with them. Sometimes it's not businesses that fail, but it's us failing our businesses.
That's good.
We get to a point where we are bored with what we started.
You didn't have the vision for it.
Yes.
You fell into it.
You fell into it. Or secondly, it looks glamorous from outside, but that when you get inside, it's not as glamorous as it is. With this business, it gives me energy. I love the product. I was reading a quote from someone who said, if you're about to be an entrepreneur, don't get into something that you don't love.
You don't love, yes.
Turn something that you love into a business opportunity.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's easy to work with something that you love.
Yeah.
It's easy to commercialize something that you love.
Yes.
But again, there's a thin line there. You find that some people, especially artists, will tell you that when you turn something that you love into a business, you can easily find yourself hating it.
Yeah.
But this is not that type of business. This is the type of business that the aroma, it wakes me up. It keeps me going. Even when
the smell of it just
says,
it takes you back.
Yes, it takes me back there. When I wake up in the morning to open that coffee shop, that smell. When I say to whoever is behind the machine, the barista, can you please heat me up with a cup?
Yeah.
Or if I say I'm gonna jump behind the machine and make myself a cup of coffee, it's that experience. I love this business. I believe that this business found me. I remember when a friend of a stakeholder came and said, when I was still in corporate, Springs, we're looking for a sponsor, and we believe that your brand would fit in well with what we want to achieve. And we negotiated a sponsorship deal over a long period of time. And we finally said, okay, we're going to sponsor the South African Barista Champs. And then I had to tour with the Specialty Coffee Association.
This is from the liquor office?
No, this is from, I brought in a brand called Da Vinci into the country.
Okay.
It's a syrup, it's flavors that go into coffee. So another thing that we can do is that we can serve you a hazelnut cappuccino if you come to us without you needing the sugar. So it was a value add to the coffee culture. So I was there representing the brand. And I fell in love with the coffee culture, and I realized that there's more to this. I normally say to people, the coffee shop, it's one of those businesses where you are happy when there are customers around, and you're also happy when it's empty.
Tell us about that.
Because you're drinking something that you love.
It gives you a moment of having your own coffee. All right.
Having your own coffee. So I was saying that to a friend. I said, my friend, I found a business where
I'm happy either way.
I'm happy either way. I'm happy when there are customers. I'm happy when I'm alone. So it's
oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So wow, you have taught us so much. Now in your menu, how many brands of, I don't know what you call it, how many lines of coffee that one can pick from?
So the lines, so the coffee shop has, so I've learned so much about, so the first thing I learned is don't clutter your menu.
Okay, so the few the better.
The few the better, keep it focused, simple, punchy.
Okay.
Don't confuse the consumer. You might lose a consumer by having a menu that is too cluttered.
With all types of coffees.
All types of coffees. So we have.
At the end of the day, it's coffee. Right?
Yes, that's like there's a gentleman from KFC who came to me. He's one of the big guys there. He said, the most important thing, one of the things that KFC has mastered is being able to, for example, the dunked wings. Started off as dunked wings.
Yes.
You get the dunked burger.
Oh,
you get the dunked something. So it's one ingredient that goes into multiple.
Oh, okay. All right.
Menu items that they serve. So you're still having the dunked wing sauce in the dunked wings. You get it in the dunked wing burger, in the dunked chips. So we apply So we apply the same concept. Okay. We can take coffee is the main ingredient that we have. We've got coffee, we've got cappuccino frizzo, we've got a mocha, we serve it in different formats.
Yes.
But the ingredients can be applied across a number. So it's the formats that you present the consumer with, but the ingredient remains constant.
Doesn't change. It doesn't change. Wow, man. No, that's some education right there.
So if you look at how fast food companies work, especially I might mention a few, McDonald's.
Yeah.
You find them applying the same ingredient across multiple food formats.
Now that you mentioned McDonald's, I think I remember, was it last year or sometime, or they've been running this free coffee in the morning, whatnot.
Yeah.
How is that? Do you think South Africans are receptive of that? Did they take it nicely? Or they will still come back to you at the end of the day?
I don't want to be critical, right? I think those companies that are coming in and making coffee open to the people, as much as they don't serve the best cup. I won't have coffee from them.
Right.
But I think they're also playing a role in terms of introducing people to the culture. It's like when you listen to music that is not nice, it opens you up to listening to more
other music.
To other music until you find what works for you.
So whatever they're doing, good or bad, but it's planting a seed of some sort. It's
planting a seed. If I looked at the Euromonitor report about coffee consumption in South Africa, it's growing. The focus, the numbers are just improving.
And so this morning free coffee at McDonald's helps as well.
It helps.
Even though they're serving garbage, but it helps.
Yeah, and don't get me as being biased when I'm saying it's garbage, but we all know that it's pushing volumes.
Of course.
So when you're pushing volumes, there are certain things that you'll find yourself compromising on. Or sometimes it's not you. I would say the saddest thing about big companies is that they've got buyers. The buyers will squeeze the suppliers.
Of course.
To reduce their prices to a certain point. If you are undercutting your supplier, if you are squeezing your supplier, then the quality will tend to be compromised.
Okay. So now your target market, one more time. I know you mentioned schools in terms of universities, office parks, and whatnot. So to me, it tells me that you are mostly focusing on the middle class or the working class. Let's
Yes.
put it that way, the working class. So would you come and help Abu Mama Bamakwini?
I'm actually open to that. Setting up Mama.
Because there's a lot of Amakwini stands in the townships, and they're selling volumes and volumes
so
of
if I can
Amakwini.
find Mama Makwenya, we work together. For example, I was crossing the border by car between South Africa, Botswana, then Botswana, Zambia.
Okay.
When you cross the border, you fly a lot.
Yeah.
You find at the border post, those borders that close and open at a certain time, the ones that open at 6, there are already those Mama who are selling coffee. At the border.
Close probably at midnight or 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yes. So there is that opportunity. That's one of the things that makes me say I'm keen to get into the township market, because I don't want to be bad. Not that I've got no stamina to fight at Starbucks, but I believe that there's an opportunity in the township.
Yeah. Create your own market.
Create your own market. We all have aspirations.
But that's not all that is to it.
Yes. Actually, you pay more to be there.
Yeah.
It's like if when I've got my coffee bean, I would want to that is labeled.
Yeah.
I'd like to distribute it independently, because there's a cost with being on the retail shelf.
Of course.
You come from a business a background where you charge people rebates.
Yes.
Are you willing to sacrifice 25% of your margin to be on that shelf, and what does it do to your price?
Yeah, no, obviously it drops your price.
Yes.
It drops what gets into your
also the
packets
pain
at
that
the
comes
end of
with
the
it,
day.
because secondly, they'll probably want your product on consignment.
Of course.
Pay for what they've sold.
Yeah.
Negotiate trading terms that are very that
because they're pushing volumes.
Do you have the cash flow to accept someone saying that they'll pay you in 90 days?
Yeah. Meanwhile, they've taken 2, 3, 5 trucks.
Yes, they've taken 5 trucks, and
you've paid for those 5 trucks,
yes.
Right? Yes.
So that's the pain of going the retail route. I would say we must learn to find other route to market channels. And there's a route to market channel that is sitting with Domama Wenza Makwini, the lady who's making a Makwini. There's the route to market channel that comes with putting a trailer at a school and empowering someone to run that business, and you supply them with the coffee beans.
Because I can take you to a few places just here in the township.
Yeah.
And you see just the sports where corner. You see the volume. Just be there for like 2-3 hours in the morning.
No, please do. I'm gonna take
in the morning.
Here.
Just see the volume of and just sit down with the lady and ask her how many what were they called 25 kg of flowers that she used in a day. You'll be surprised.
Now I'm open to that.
To 10 of those 10 25 kg.
Now imagine when you come, if I drop my cup price to 10 rands. So as a person buys a pack of Amakwenya and a cup of coffee for 10 rands, they're about to jump into a taxi to go to work. So I'm open to those opportunities. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for space in a mall.
Yeah.
I'm looking to
push the numbers in the cups.
Yes, because you can sacrifice a bit of margin for volume, and the volumes will make up for that margin that you've sacrificed.
Yes, sir. And now, obviously, the kind of business that you started, so it simply means that you are eradicating poverty from where I'm sitting, because then it calls for you to employ a lot of people to run your shops or whatever, your pop-ups, right?
No, it calls for that. I really want to scale this business. I want this business to be an opportunity for someone else again. I want to
open a channel.
To open a channel and to say that not everyone has to fight for a catering tender.
Yeah.
But you can plug into someone's business who has a catering contract and say that I'll supply coffee.
Yeah.
Because fortunately, there's a new way of doing things now with the whole COVID situation that we found ourselves in. You can literally say that let Omakoti relax. Omakoti should not be there tasked with making coffee throughout the day.
Yeah. Yeah. So you coming in right there.
Yes, we're coming in to support Omakoti.
Yeah.
Let
them bring the scones.
Yeah, the
coffee.
Yeah, the coffee is there, We're also changing the whole notion of patriarchy.
Exactly. Wow, man. We're so thankful for your time. It's been that long that we've been talking. Just over an hour.
Wow. I'm also inspired by what you're doing. I must say thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
I've been following your work. I came here just open to the conversation.
Yes, sir.
It was not scripted. There were no preempted answers. Because I just.
That's why I never send questions to all my people because a lot of people send me questions. I don't do that.
Yes.
Because I want us to have. Yes. I want I want clean answers and I want truthful answers.
Yes.
Because once I send you something, then you study, then you come here with like you said, you already know what I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
And most of the time, half of what I've put down, I don't get to ask you anyways. Wow. Because the questions, they come from the conversations that we had.
Wow. And what you're doing, Jabu, it's great. You're creating a platform.
I appreciate that.
The one thing that is a challenge for any entrepreneur is the PR.
Yes, sir.
And PR is more valuable than the poster or any marketing that you can pay for.
Yes, sir.
And you're doing this, you're providing young entrepreneurs with a platform to stand up and show off and talk about their brands.
Yes.
So we really, really, I don't know whether anyone has said this to you before, but I value your work.
No, I appreciate it. No, it definitely, we're looking for people like you, just to send the word out there. We're not looking for celebrities, but if you are a celebrity, you're doing what you do and we love what you do, obviously we'll call you into the show. Because we're all about people who are going out to change the world in small volumes, in the day-to-day steps of life, So what you're doing is something that we don't grow from this kind of environment. So it's new to us, and it says this guy is doing something unique. And this guy grew up in Eastern Cape in the Eslali. So where does this idea comes from? So then that's what intrigues us about people, to say there must be something about this person that we need to learn. And so that's why we call people like you to come and share an idea with us.
Wow, I really appreciate it. I always say, I know that people say that by labeling myself as a rural boy, I'm taking advantage of a label that comes with that. But we've all come into the city, and I think you said it earlier on the blue pill and the red pill.
Yeah.
So you come into the city, you embrace certain things, you learn from certain situations and environments, and it's up to you with what you do with what you learn in the cities. Absolutely up to you. There are so many people that will come into the city and waste opportunities.
Good opportunities and bad opportunities.
And it's all up to you. It's all up to the individual. We are not rural boys for life.
In one of your posts on social media, you said something that intrigued me actually. I think you said, how can we expected to be on the lockdown in a place of work and not allow us to go into our homes? You said something like that, if I remember correctly.
No, the thing is, the city is a place of opportunities. We all come into the city looking for an opportunity. However, in the past, the opportunity has always been packaged in a certain way. And no one has ever looked, a few people have looked for opportunities outside of that scope or the view that they have of the city. And those people have tended to be pioneers. However, I'm also not undermining or looking down on those people that simply continue with the tunnel vision of embracing the opportunity that comes with the city. We all have something to take out of the city life. And we all have a responsibility to empower each other. I think the one message that I want besides the coffee business, my biggest responsibility in this world is to light the next brother. is to give the next person an opportunity.
That's kind of thing
The
again.
kind of thing again.
Yeah.
If there's another rural brother who comes into the city and needs guidance, I'm open to that. And sometimes it might not come from me speaking to them directly,
Yes, sir.
but maybe my actions will influence them to.
They will learn something from
Yeah.
you. Yes, yes. No, man, we want to say thank you very much. We appreciate you. And we see an opportunity with this business. And I hope this interview as well has worked up in your mind to see much brighter, maybe some spaces and places that you never thought were possible. And then it has opened and broadened your mind in such a space where you'll be able to run into tomorrow, you know. And we want to thank you very much, and may the good Lord bless you and your business, and keep on doing what you do. Don't fade away.
Thanks, Jeff.
Don't fade away. There's if you fade away, you're tired, just give me a call, right?
I want you to mentor me.
Yeah.
I want you
Just
to
give
come
me a
in.
call, because with this, I really see a huge opportunity.
Yes.
You've got something special right here.
Yeah.
This is a gold mine.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
This is a gold mine. What you have here is definitely a gold mine.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
And so if you're tired, just pass the baton on me, okay?
Yes. No, thank you very much.
Do this kind of thing on me.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much, and this is our time. And yes, we thank Springs for coming through and sharing the coffee. This is amazing. It's something we grew up on, but we never thought we could take it to this level. And this is one of the gentlemen that shows us that coffee can turn into a business, not just a morning thing that we grew up on, and our families as well. So if you see him around, remember his brand, Kahawa Beans. When you see him, give him support, shout it out, tell him that you saw him on Pit to Palace, and you liked his interview as well. And subscribe to our channel, drop us your comment. It's very important that we hear from you as well, because we can only grow when you say something. And thank you for your time, and we say thank you and peace.